In today's investigation, we are waking up to the dark side of Britain's coffee culture. For millions, a cup of coffee is a non-negotiable morning ritual, but the industrialization of the bean has turned this ancient energy source into a toxic delivery system. Most people assume that coffee is just ground beans and water, but the reality involves industrial solvents, mold-ridden storage facilities, and heavy metal contamination from cheap, single-use pods. It is absolutely critical that you watch this entire report to the very end. Most consumers think they are safe as long as they buy premium or gold labels, but our research shows that some of the most expensive brands in the UK are actually the worst offenders for chemical residue. If you skip any part of this video, you might miss the segment on mycotoxins, a silent, invisible fungus that thrives in mass-produced coffee and can cause chronic fatigue, digestive distress, and persistent brain fog. We will also be diving into the acrylamide trap, explaining how specific roasting speeds can create carcinogenic byproducts that never appear on the ingredient list. Furthermore, we need to address the solvent extraction methods used to create decaf varieties, which often leave behind traces of methylene chloride, a chemical used in paint strippers that can linger in the decaffeinated bean. We will also expose how the logistics gap between global harvest and UK shelves leads to the development of ochratoxin A, a potent nephrotoxin that targets the kidneys. Later, we will reveal the only 2 brands in the UK that provide a clean, jitter-free energy source. Let us expose what is really in your mug. Starting at number 8, Nescafé Gold. As the staple of the UK cupboard, Nescafé is the ultimate industrial dead coffee. To create instant granules that dissolve perfectly, the beans undergo a massive industrial process involving high-heat spray drying or freeze drying. This process strips away the natural coffee oils, the very compounds that contain the antioxidants your brain needs. To compensate for the loss of flavor, industrial aroma recovery systems are used to spray synthetic coffee scents back onto the granules before they are sealed. You aren't drinking a natural brew, you're drinking a chemically reconstructed powder. Furthermore, mass-market instant coffee is often made from Robusta beans of the lowest grade, which are significantly higher in acrylamide, a chemical byproduct of roasting that has been linked to long-term health concerns. At number 7, Costa Coffee. Costa is a British high street icon, but their supermarket ground coffee and pods tell a different story. To maintain their signature blend at such a massive scale, they rely on high-volume sourcing from regions where pesticide regulations are lax. Testing has shown that mass-market commercial coffee can contain residues of over 20 different pesticides, including glyphosate and endosulfan. Because coffee is one of the most chemically treated crops in the world, these residues survive the roasting process and end up in your cup. When you drink Costa at home, you are consuming a product of industrial monoculture that prioritizes consistent taste over biological purity, often leading to a toxic load that burdens your liver every morning. At number 6, Starbucks. While the branding is premium, the delivery system is a disaster for your health. These aluminum pods are often lined with a thin plastic film to prevent the metal from oxidizing. When high pressure near boiling water is forced through that pod, the heat can trigger the migration of microplastics and endocrine disruptors directly into your espresso. Beyond the packaging, Starbucks coffee is known for its dark roast profile. In the industry, a dark roast is often used to mask the flavor of low-quality defect beans that would taste fermented or moldy if roasted lightly. You are paying a premium for a burnt flavor that hides a low-quality, chemically-laden raw material. At number 5, Kenco. Another giant of the UK market, Kenco's smooth marketing hides the reality of mycotoxins. Mycotoxins are toxic compounds produced by molds that grow on coffee beans during improper storage in humid warehouses. Large-scale producers like Kenco source from massive commodity lots where beans are often piled high in non-temperature controlled environments. Because these toxins are heat-stable, the roasting process doesn't kill them. Drinking mold-contaminated coffee is the primary reason many people feel jittery or experience a crash and a headache an hour after drinking. It isn't just the caffeine, it's a direct immune response to fungal metabolites that should never have been in the supply chain. At number 4, L'Or Espresso. This brand markets itself as the height of French elegance, but it is a masterclass in industrial optimization. They use a high-velocity roasting method that takes only a few minutes. While this saves the company millions in energy costs, it prevents the beans from undergoing the complex chemical changes necessary to break down bitter acids and develop health-promoting polyphenols. To fix the resulting flavor profile, industrial pH balancers are sometimes used in the processing of the beans. This results in a coffee that is unnaturally acidic, which can erode tooth enamel and irritate the delicate lining of your gut, leading to chronic acid reflux. You are buying a designer image while fueling digestive inflammation. At number 3, Tassimo. Tassimo tea discs are the ultimate convenience trap. Unlike traditional pods, these contain complex barcode-driven internal structures made entirely of plastic. The surface area of plastic to hot liquid contact is significantly higher here than in almost any other brewing method. Furthermore, the milk discs used in Tassimo machines aren't real milk. They are a shelf-stable UHT dairy product loaded with stabilizers and emulsifiers to prevent separation. When heated, these stabilizers can break down into secondary compounds that interfere with gut health. You are drinking a laboratory-engineered beverage that bypasses the natural simplicity of real coffee for the sake of a machine-readable barcode. At number 2, Taylor's of Harrogate. Often seen as the respectable supermarket choice, the issue here is the stale oil problem. Most Taylor's coffee is sold pre-ground in bags with a one-way valve. Once coffee is ground, the surface area increases by thousands of %, leading to rapid oxidation. The natural oils in the coffee become rancid within days of the bag being opened. Rancid oils are highly inflammatory and can stress the liver's detoxification pathways. To keep the coffee tasting fresh for months on the supermarket shelf, nitrogen flushing is used, but once you open that bag at home, the death clock for the nutrients starts ticking instantly. You are buying a product that is chemically aging and losing its antioxidant potential before it even hits your cup. Taking the number 1 spot for the absolute worst, Maxwell House. This is the definition of bottom-of-the-barrel coffee. Sourced from the cheapest possible commodity beans, it is often a blend of old, dried-out Robusta beans that have no nutritional value left. It is heavily processed, aggressively roasted to hide defects, and stored in massive tins that offer no protection against oxidation. The high level of defect beans means a significantly higher risk of heavy metal contamination, including lead and cadmium, which are absorbed from poor quality soil in unregulated growing regions. It is the most chemically dead coffee on the UK shelf. A product designed for the lowest possible price point with zero regard for the biological impact on the drinker. If you want the cognitive benefits of coffee without the toxic fallout, you must look for specialty-grade beans that are tested for mold and grown without chemicals. There are only 2 brands in the UK that are truly fantastic and medically clean. First is Exhale Coffee. This is a game changer for the UK market. Exhale is the first coffee specifically roasted for health. They independently test every batch for mycotoxins, pesticides, and heavy metals. More importantly, they use a unique science-backed roasting process that preserves the highest possible levels of polyphenols and vitamin B3. A single cup of Exhale has the antioxidant equivalent of 12 punnets of blueberries. It is clean coffee that supports your brain health and longevity, rather than stressing your system with mold and chemicals. Finally, the gold standard, Origin Coffee Roasters. Based in Cornwall, Origin is a leader in direct trade. They don't buy from anonymous commodity lots, they buy directly from farmers they know, ensuring that the beans are grown in high-altitude, clean environments and processed with total transparency. They focus on light to medium roasts that allow the natural, health-promoting compounds of the bean to shine. Their coffee is fresh roasted in small batches and carries B Corp certification, ensuring you receive a living product that is rich in flavor and free from industrial shortcuts.